Bible was written over a period of 2,000 years, how is it an eyewitness account of the events that it records? And then in parentheses it says, if you're an eyewitness of something, it means you have to actually be in that situation to see the events. Fair enough, that's true. Yeah, an eyewitness would presume that you are there because you're witnessing with your eye what you saw. Now, I think the question, well, I don't agree with the question's premise. In other words, I don't think anywhere the Bible presumes to be, in everything it says, an eyewitness retelling of what happened. I think there's parts of Scripture that claim to be eyewitness accounts, and there's parts that don't, right? So, for example, the Gospels are a great example of the Gospel writers were claimed to be eyewitness accounts of Jesus, right? John 1:1. I really like this passage, so I'm just going to jump to it real quick here. John 1:14. It says, and the Word, meaning Jesus, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So Christ now is dwelling among us. And we saw his glory. Glory as the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and full of truth. John testified about him, so on and so forth. Okay, so notice, there we see the gospel writer saying, hey, look, he dwelt among us, so we saw him, we interacted with him. The other example would be Luke, like Luke 1, or another example. Luke 1, starting in verse, just Luke 1:1. I love the beginning of Luke 1 because, well, just listen to it here. So it says, insomuch as many have undertaken to compile an account of the things accomplished among us, so it happened amongst us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. It seemed fitting for me as well, having investigated everything, to write it out for you in a consecutive order. So again, they're saying, look, we're eyewitnesses of this. I've investigated it. I've talked to people who have known about this. I'm going to put it in a precise order. So again, there are examples where, yes, the Bible claims to be an eyewitness recounting of what happened. But obviously there's parts of the Bible that you can't even in principle be an eyewitness to, like the creation of the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1, right? Obviously nobody was there. Or I think of even like conversations that there's no way in principle we could be privy to. Like, for example, in the book of Job, Satan comes to God and has a conversation. Well, obviously nobody was there to witness that. No human was there. So obviously a biblical author couldn't tell you as an eyewitness account what happened. But again, I don't believe that the Bible is presuming that all of it is an eyewitness accounting of what has happened. Unless you count God as the eyewitness, which in that case it would be fair, and we would say, well, yeah, exactly. God was an eyewitness, and he divulged that information through revelation to people like Moses, who wrote the first 5 books of the Old Testament, to tell us an account of what happened. So, or maybe, however, I don't know how, but obviously somebody told, Job or whoever told the events of what transpired between God and Satan, obviously that was written down. So God, because he was there, could have told whoever were the authors to write down this story. So in that sense, yeah, God was an eyewitness, but now obviously I'm sure the question wasn't presuming about God being an eyewitness, but rather humans. But once you include God, of course, God then can, through divine revelation, reveal anything to people who were not there, like the creation of the universe.